What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name is Gnarizard, and today we're going to be going over another deck similar to my last video. I'm going to make this into a series of videos called Deck Showcase. So today we're going to be going over the budget elusive deck. It might technically be called the budget Jinx Zed deck. I'm not really sure, but I've been finding a lot of success playing to the strengths of the elusive units in the deck. The way that this deck works is you use your elusive units to do a lot of damage to the Nexus, and then you use your other units to buff your elusives or take damage so that you can keep your elusives on the board and save them for your attack turn. Elusive units are so strong because they can only be blocked by other elusive units, so unless you find somebody playing a similar deck or a complete mirror to you, you're normally going to have a really high success rate because they literally can't do anything to deal with your elusive units as long as you've got good RNG and pull those. The deck was created by Swim, just like my last deck. A lot of the decks I've been playing are made by Swim, so I'm going to leave a link in the description to the Mobalytics deck builder where I found the deck. On the upper right hand side of the screen, there's a little button where you can import a string directly into Legends of Runeterra, and it'll paste the entire deck into a deck builder, and then it'll show you what cards you have and don't have so that you can create the deck yourself. So right now I'm going to jump in and just look at the specific cards and explain to you guys what cards do what and why it's so effective, and then I'm going to go look at some games I've played with this deck and show you guys how it works in action. It's a really fun deck and I've been having a ton of fun with it. As you can see right now, some people, as soon as I load in, they just surrender. So let's jump over and look at the specific cards in the deck. Alright, so before we hop into the deck itself, here's the import deck button I was talking about. You go in here, you control V, put your code in, and then you just import the deck. It makes it really simple, and then it'll put, it'll give you like a deck here, and then you can go to edit it. Now on the side here where these numbers are blue, it means you have all the cards, but the red ones you don't, and then you just, you'll click on them like this, and it'll give you an option to make them. So anyway, the important cards in this deck are Inspiring Mentor, which gives a card in hand 1/1. Green Glade Duo, which is an elusive. Every time you summon an ally, gives it 1/0 that round. Keeper of Mask, it's a non-elusive, but it buffs your ally's attack for a round. Navori Conspirator is an elusive, which can recall. When you play it has to recall, so it's really good for like recalling your Inspiring Mentor. That way you can buff your units again, or recalling your Keeper of Mask to buff your units again. Golden Crushbot and Skilled Snapper, you play this one as a 2/5 and this one is a 2/5. They're both 3 cost. They're really good for soaking damage. That way you can keep your elusive units to attack and not have to use them to block. Shadow Assassin, when summoned, draws 1 and it's a 2/2 elusive, 3 cost. Another good one just to keep drawing elusives and put more damage out. Kinku Lifeblade is really good because it's got lifesteal and it's also elusive. Lifesteal is really good if you're starting to fall behind because it'll heal your Nexus when it attacks. Will of Ionia is good for recalling powerful units on their side. We shouldn't gloss over Zed and Jinx. Jinx is kind of good if you're not pulling elusives and you pull Jinx instead. She's good in combination with Augmented Experimenter because this discards your whole hand, which will proc Jinx's level up. And then Jinx, when she levels up, you draw 1 at the start of the round, and every time you empty your hand, you get one of these rockets that deals 4 to the Nexus and 1 to all other enemies. It's really good if the enemy team is overwhelming you with units because that can help thin their side of the board out and just deal straight damage to their Nexus. But I tend to reroll for the elusives and use her only if I get her with bad RNG. Zed's really good because he has quick attack, and when he attacks he also spawns a shadow which attacks, but it's ephemeral, so it'll disappear at the end of the turn. So it puts a lot of pressure out, even if they do have elusive units, to either block those, block your elusives, or deal with Zed. Zed has quick attack, and that means he strikes before the blocker, so if somebody tries to block your Zed and they only have 3 HP, Zed will kill them and they won't do any damage even though he only has 2 HP. And then when him and his shadows strike the Nexus 2 times, he levels up and he just gets more powerful stats, but does the same effect. And then lastly, our finisher card is the Empyrean, which is a 6/5 elusive, 7 cost. That's just if you make it that late in the game and you pull one, it's a really powerful elusive that'll help you close out. Jeweled Protector I should mention too, which grants your ally in hand 3/3. A really good combo is playing Jeweled Protector on something like Kinku Lifeblade, or Shadow Assassin, and then using your Navori Conspirator to recall your Jeweled Protector and putting another 3/3 buff out. So those are the really important cards in this deck. As you can see, it's a lot of using your cards to buff other units and then using those elusive units that you buff to do damage to the Nexus. Now we're going to hop into some games that I played, and I'll show you guys how this deck works in action. Alright, so in this game, I pull Astute Academic, Thermogenic Beam, Inspiring Mentor, and Shadow Assassin. I mulligan the Thermogenic Beam, and I get lucky to pull a second Inspiring Mentor. Pulling the second Inspiring Mentor is really good because I can use them both to buff my Shadow Assassin, taking her from a 2/2 to a 4/4. He plays a 2/1, and when he summons another ally, it'll give that 2/1 challenger. I don't really mind. I play my Inspiring Mentor. I have enough attack power to take that out, so if he attacks, I'll be able to cancel it, basically. I get some God tier RNG and I pull another Inspiring Mentor, so I play him and buff up my Shadow Assassin a second time.
Give me a sweet bun. Heightens the senses.
I wait a bit, send some BM with my emote, and I spawn my third Inspiring Mentor, taking my Shadow Assassin from 2/2 to 5/5, and it's elusive, so this guy playing a Freljord Demacia deck isn't going to be able to block it at all. I use all three Inspiring Mentors to attack because he only has a 2/1 on the board, and with its effect, he's going to want to wait until he can play something else to get that challenger, and use that challenger to possibly take out my elusives, or to take out anything else I play on the board. So it puts a lot of pressure on him to either lose his only card, or let me attack and take all 3 damage. So I attack with all 3 of them. I'm not too concerned about losing them. Luckily, he's an idiot and he decided to just take the 3 damage. At this point, he plays Navarro's Marksman, which can deal 1 damage to a unit when it's played. I see that I have the spell, but it can't really do anything, so I just take the damage. I still keep 2 cards on the board, and if he challenges one of my cards with his challenger unit, he's going to die anyway, so I'm not super concerned. I play my Astute Academic because if he challenges that one, it'll kill that, but it still has 1 attack, so it can still kill his challenger, so I'm not super concerned, and I'm planning on keeping that for the long haul. I get lucky and he doesn't challenge anything, so I use both my Inspiring Mentors to clear the board. I'm not really sure what he was thinking here because I had 3 1 attack units, so I could have just cleared the board either way, but it was probably smart to clear the board. Here I summon my Shadow Assassin, which when they're summoned draws a card, so I get to buff up my Astute Academic a second time. And my Shadow Assassin's 5/5 at this point. He summons a Braum, which is a really good card, don't get me wrong, but my Shadow Assassin does 5 damage, so if he tries to challenge that next round, it'll kill him. The only thing he can do here is block my Astute Academic, or he can save it. I put them both out, hoping he'll be stupid, but I end up giving 3 damage to the Braum. Probably a rookie mistake. I could have just attacked with the Shadow Assassin and did the 5 damage anyway, but I leave it. On this turn, I pull a Green Glade Duo, so now I have 3 elusives in hand between the Green Glade, the Shadow Assassin, and the Navori Conspirator. Green Glade gets a buff when you summon another ally, so I want to get her on the board before I start summoning other stuff, and I still keep enough mana to summon 2 more cards. It's not my attack turn, so I don't want to go super aggro, but I want to start getting elusives on the board for my next turn, that way I can do a big attack. He challenges my Astute Academic again. There's nothing I can do, so he gets another 2 damage towards his level up. He's halfway there at this point. I summon the Shadow Assassin, which buffs Green Glade Duo, but it's only for this round and I'm not attacking, so she'll go back to a 2/1 next turn. But we're not really concerned about her attack value because it's more important that we just have elusives on the board, because either way he's not going to be able to block them, so the more we have, in theory, the more damage we're going to be able to do. He plays the Fiora card to kill my Green Glade Duo. I think that Rush would let me do a quick attack on that one and survive, but I thought wrong, so I basically just wasted that card. I put out my Darius emote to let him know that that was a bad play and that I misplayed it. Coming into this turn, I see that I have 2 elusives in hand. I can't play Empyrean yet, but I can play Navori Conspirator. I'm on the fence about playing him because there's nothing with play bonuses on the board, so I don't necessarily want to recall anything. After thinking for a minute, I decided that he's probably the best thing to play, because if I play the Shredder guy, he'll have 5 damage on the board, or if I play Jinx, I'll have 4 damage on the board, which means next turn when Braum's attacking, he can almost proc his level up. So I decided the better move would be to remove my Astute Academic and put only elusives on the board, so at that point Braum can't challenge anything to get any damage out. I see that he has Garen out too, and I want something to be able to block with next turn. I don't have enough mana to summon the Chempunk, and I don't really want to summon Jinx unless I have to, so I put out the Astute Academic again. He puts out Cytheria, and I attack with all 3 Elusives. There's nothing he can do, and at this point he's at 2 damage left on his Nexus, and I've got 20 left. I pull an Augmented Experimenter, which discards the hand, but it deals 3 damage to a unit. It's really good in combination with Jinx when you play Jinx, and then you play that to discard your hand and procs Jinx level up. He gives everything in his hand, or on his board, 3/3. I'm feeling a little threatened right now, but I remember that most of my units are elusive and he can't clear anything. Even with the units he has on the board, he can only do 16 damage, so he'll be 4 short of taking me out in 1 turn. I debate using the Elusive or the Augmented Experimenter, but if I played the Elusive this turn, it wouldn't really matter because it's not my attack turn. I pass to let him go and see what happens. My plan was that if he attacked with Garen, I would block with my 5/5 Shadow Assassin, and then when the turn rotated back to me, I would do 3 damage with my Augmented Experimenter. He plays the Fiora card again to make my allies hit each other, which is fine. It's going to kill my card, but then Garen only has 3 health left, so I'm free to do exactly what I wanted to by playing Augmented Experimenter. I look over my cards here thinking what the best move is. I was kind of threatened by him because he still has the attack token, so he can still attack, but in the end I decided to just play Experimenter anyway and at least take Garen out of the game. This also buffs up my Astute Academic, so I could use her to block if he decides to attack this turn, because I draw 3 cards and it procs her passive 3 times, so now she's a 5/2.
Immerse yourself in the unknown.
I pull Mystic Shot, which can deal 2 damage to anything, which is perfect for finishing off his Nexus, even if I don't attack. He decides to attack with everything and challenges my Experimenter.
This is fun, yes?
Then he changes his mind and challenges my Elusive, which is the smarter move. To BM, I throw my cards out there to block everything, and then I throw out the Mystic Shot. I make sure to keep my 2/2 Elusive on the board, just in case he played a spell to deny Mystic Shot, but he doesn't, and I'm able to take him out with the spell. You gotta make sure to throw your Braum BM out, and it's an easy win. Thanks so much for checking out the video and the channel. If you guys like this kind of content, consider subscribing. I'm gonna be making lots more deck showcases and some Legends of Runeterra gameplay, as well as some League of Legends commentaries as well. If there's anything I can do to improve these kind of videos, let me know in the comments, and also if you like the video, please like the video. It really helps out a lot. Thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you in the next one, and have a great day.